Good.
Hey guys, Junior wannabe here.
Whew.
Whew, oh, just made it. Um, so how are you, Clayton?
Doing well. Yeah,
Yeah,
doing well. Crazy good busy weekend. How about you? You had
yeah,
a
very.
really good weekend.
Yes, I did. I did. Did you end up catching the stream at some point?
I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That was
Congratulations.
thanks,
Congratulations.
man. That was interesting. It was a fun stream too. Um, yeah. So, uh, hi guys, welcome to Watch Soup. Um, usually, we're in the back room and we chat a little bit, but we didn't get to do that. I just pretty much ran in, sat down, and we got going. So, yeah, good to see everyone in the chat. Good to see you, Clayton. What's on your wrist today?
I am wearing the Weiss Ultralight. I'm in a new location connected to Ethernet because my internet was a little choppy last time I was
Okay.
on, so I wanted to make sure. So, yep, the Weiss Ultralight field watch tonight. Love this watch. Been wearing it the last few days. So,
Yeah, it looks great. I am
how
wearing
about you?
the Zenith El Primero, of course. Um, yeah, A384. Recent pickup. Picked
It
it
looks
up.
really good on your wrist. I saw your Instagram post tonight too. Looks awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I know Dan said that too. So, yes, I won Dan over. But yeah, let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Hey, Reinhardt's here. Good to see you. Bill, he is here. Time Hill is here. Peter, how's it going? Joey's here as well. There's Dan. Dan, how's it going? Chaz is here. Good to see you, Chaz. Hope you're doing well. Justin, how are you? Hey, Clayton is here as well. Hey, Rick's here. Good to see you, Rick. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Um, I heard I got 3 new watches today. Oh, I wish. Bill believes him. Uh, hey, Sam's here. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Monday afternoon. I think Monday morning. Um, well, let's
Late Monday
see.
morning, I think, for him.
Yeah, late Monday. Yeah, that makes sense. Monday morning. Uh, Tennessee Mike's here. Good to see you, Tennessee
Hey,
Mike.
Mike.
Justin, how's it going? Um, Chaz is wearing the Omega Planet Ocean orange. Oh, Chaz has probably the best Planet Ocean. um, Ken, how's it going, Ken? Bruno's here too. Um, Clayton says, AZ Clayton says T minus 2 weeks for the 415 review. I have a feeling that one's staying. We'll see. Junior Johnson, good to see you. Um, all right. I think we caught up with everyone. Underachieving Watch Collector, I think I missed you. Justin says, I love that Zenith. I think you did good, but I'm not the biggest Planet Ocean fan. I hear you. I am a fan. It's just I pull the opposite Clayton, the opposite of Clayton. So Clayton is more dive watch and really hardy watch kind of guy, and I'm more dress watch, delicate watch kind of guy. So yeah, kind of
I think I'm like you and I flirt with that dress watch. I'm attracted to them, but owning them is a different story. And I think you and I do that, but I do it with dress watches. You do it with dive watches.
yeah. It's funny how that works out. Grass is always greener, they say.
Yep.
But yeah, let's get started. I feel like we're blowing through today for some reason.
Yeah. Slow
Maybe it's
down.
because yeah, maybe it's because I ran in here, but yeah. So let's talk about some of the reviews. There weren't that many that I watched this week, but two of note was the monochrome video review of the Glasuta Original CQ. They did the a review of the Green Dot one. Very beautiful watch, really well done review. I've been watching their reviews for a while now.
Yep.
They do a pretty good job. They have a good narrator. Not sure if he's the one who writes the reviews as well, but yeah, it was a really nice Real nice job done on the Glasuta CQ. Did you have any thoughts on that,
Now,
Clayton?
would you go for that one because it doesn't have the see-through back, or would you go for would you chance the larger size and so you could see that movement?
I don't know if I'd go for either.
Yeah,
I mean I do love the CQ, and I think if I had to, I'd go with the 39, but then I know I'm getting the lesser version.
yeah,
And so I feel like, over time I'd be like, this isn't the best in, like there's a lot of compromise on the inside as well from what I've heard. Um and so that would always like nag at me, I think. So I don't
yeah.
think I'd go with either. I know I couldn't pull off the bigger one. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
probably could pull off the bigger, but yeah, I'm with you. I know it's a watch I'm like supposed to love and I like it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't like it's not like super sexy or anything. It's a nice dive watch, but it doesn't like grab me really.
Right. Yeah.
I've never held it in hand though, so who knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it might be love at first sight.
Yeah.
Kind of like the speedy for you.
Yeah.
um but did you what do you think of the shade of green on this one?
I do like the green.
Yeah.
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 I've been eyeing our friend Jerry just bought the green Longines Hydro Conquest, and that looks
Yeah.
awesome. I like the dial has a different shade than the bezel, and it's a great combo. And yeah, so green has been. I have not jumped upon the green dial. That seems to be the 2021 dial color of choice
Yeah.
du jour.
Yeah.
But I have not jumped on it yet. But yeah, it's a nice green. I don't know if I'd go for the blue CQ or the green. But how about you? You don't have a do you have a blue now? I forget. I can't
I
keep
did.
track. Okay. Yeah, the Black Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 558.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep track of your
I
watches.
hear you. You can count on the Grand Seiko spring drive manual wound to always be there.
Yeah.
That's about it. I like the shade of green. Um, I think it's a bit lighter than my preference of green.
Mm,
So I tend to like really dark, rich foliage kind of green.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's all right.
I like the
But, like,
green like on that Presage though. Was it the 14 SPB 140 or
was
was
it
that
111?
Oh, 111, yeah, the
Yeah,
enamel dial, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that was a
that's
nice
nice.
green.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
own that too. Um,
I watched your
and
video on it, to buy it.
right, yeah. So yeah, I really like that one. It didn't work out, but I like that one.
It was
Uh,
very lighting dependent.
yes.
Yeah.
Caliber YQG is wearing the Snapdragon. I mean, the Sea Dweller 43. Whenever I see SD, I think Snapdragon. So, sorry. uh, Joey's wearing the Doppelchrono. Very cool watch. Um, Steve saying he had to go to therapy over Sanjay's white birch and Planet Ocean. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that second part was a little shocking because I figured the white birch, but then to hear that part too.
yeah. I mean, I'm with you guys. I'm a little shocked myself. I'm happy though. Um, I'm happy with what I did.
Good.
Yeah. There was the thought was, if I did sell the SBG Y003, the dress manual and spring drive, um, like I might actually just quit. Like if I sold that, I'd be so lost. And Bobby K said it would be I'd be without a compass, and it's so true because I'd be like, yeah, what's the point?
That is sort of the watch I associate with you, maybe like your signature watch, as Jeff
Yeah,
McMahon might say.
yeah,
That's the one I think that you will, I don't know, you may always have, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might. Um, Paul, good to see you. Paul is wearing the SBGX 341. Mix those two up, but beautiful watch, man. Great choice. Um, Tennessee Mike says, so curious when Sandra plans to adding a beard.
Oh, you'd look good.
Yeah. No, it's not happening.
The hobo look is so in right now.
Right. I don't think I could grow a beard. I can't get past the itchy, scratchy stage. When you get the stubble.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
you have to just push on past that, and then months later you get to this.
yeah.
Everything gets caught in it. Look,
Right. um, Clayton, AZ Clayton is wearing his SPGN 003. I almost did
nice.
that. Um, Bruce G, good to see you. I said the same with the 39 millimeter Planet Ocean. Some compromise. Not sure if I'm missing a previous question there. Sorry, Bruce. Um, but we'll have to move on. I have the same issue as Sanjay regarding the CQ. Yeah, hear you. Uh, Joey, Rich Dark Holy. That's a good one. Um, all right. Tennessee Mike is wearing the Back Bay 41 blue. Uh, Wearing a Jenny diver. Like Jenny L diver?
No, it's the family that owns Doxa. It's a yeah, one of my friends has a Jenny diver. I believe it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next review was kind of a comparison from Tim Masso. It was the Zenith Chronomaster Sport compared with the Rolex Daytona. It was really well done. I was
Hmm.
super impressed with this. Uh, it seemed like Tim actually did a script on this one, but he might not have. It seemed like not as off the cuff as he normally is.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he compared the. I don't think they had the Daytona in hand. I feel like there wasn't much footage of the Daytona.
That was all the Chronomaster, I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a review of the Chronomaster, kind of why you should get the Chronomaster over the Daytona rather
Yeah.
than an actual comparison, like a head to head. But very interesting video nonetheless. Tim, Tim was not pulling punches. He was like, "This is photocopied Daytona." Pretty much, he was basically saying that.
Very
Uh,
critical of the clasp.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see why.
Yep.
It's like a really half-hearted attempt at copying the
Yeah.
Rolex clasp. So yeah, I can totally see that. Um, yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the Chronomaster, Clayton?
I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
The Daytona is out of reach for many of us, most of us. So, uh, I think it's different enough. I really dig the black ceramic bezel on that, and yeah, I think it looks nice. I'm not sure it's a wash for me necessarily, but I think it's attractive and it looks good.
Yeah. I like the Chronomaster. I think I'm like openly not a fan of the Daytona.
Yeah,
I think the Chronomaster Sport is a more legible, more interesting watch for
yeah,
me.
it's
Uh,
more visually more interesting, and then you turn it over and much
yeah,
more interesting.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So I totally, uh, totally take the Chronomaster over it, and
yeah,
I'd always take it on the strap just out of principle, because
yeah,
yeah, that bracelet is too much of a copy.
yeah. And not
Um,
as well done. It's not as well done.
right. The blue textile strap looks really nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Nefarian, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Chaz says Clayton could carry 3 watches in his beard.
And half of this evening's dinner, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it looks good, man. Uh,
No, it doesn't. It's
yeah,
well past time.
I, I think it suits you. I think it
Thank
looks
you.
good.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, Dan. I will not sell my children. But yeah, watches are, I guess, all on the chopping block. Yeah. Whew. Um,
Which is
Justin.
going to come into question in a couple of the videos we're reviewing tonight. Interesting food for thought about keepers and stuff in the Theo and Harris video.
Hmm.
Something struck true with me, but we'll wait for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking about that. Justin says, wonder if they had a Daytona and not a Zenith. um, would have they posted that video? Hmm. Food for thought.
Yeah.
Nefarian. I like the one without the ceramic bezel, the more vintage looking one. Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. When I purchased the A384, I like the A386 better too. So,
I like the
um,
case shape on yours a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, me too. It's different.
Hmm.
It's like a standout piece in my collection now. I'm so excited about this. um, Justin also said I prefer your Zenit Sanjay over the Chronosport. There we go. Um, Chronomaster Chronomaster Super Sport. Anyway, yeah. So let's move on to our main videos. As Bobby Legs would say, meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. Um, let's go ahead and start with this luxury watch branding ranking. That's a good one.
So
I liked it at least.
I'm admittedly sort of tired of the tier system, but this one was so bizarre that I thought it was worth. Did you get the picture I sent you to put up of the tier? I sent it to you. Oh, hello.
Sorry, pulling it up right now.
Don't make me host this alone.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so this was all over the place, this ranking system, and he said he didn't really give any sort of criteria other than his years of being a watch dealer and collector. Um, but it's all over the place. And this video is more just kind of an audience participation. I want to get your thoughts on it. So here it is. Bulova there at the bottom, but it gets a little more interesting as we go up. So yeah, Braymont, he said, so it was sort of contradictory because he said Braymont was in E because they don't always offer a lot for the money. But then he said brands like Hamilton and Tissot do, but they were down here. So I didn't understand this ranking system at all. And then as a
Mhm.
Casio fan, I am really excited that he put Casio above Jacob and Co.
Yeah.
Uh, quite strange. And he said something interesting about Omega that they're not there on branding and value. And I don't know. To me, Omega seems everywhere. They're with the Olympics, the moon stuff, James Bond.
Mhm.
I feel like they're everywhere as maybe as a watch enthusiast who pays attention to that kind of stuff. But you must have been excited that he had sort of Grand Seiko so high on the list above brands like Omega and Cartier and Zenith.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, so I don't know. Just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. I just wasn't sure. He didn't even seem sure why he was posting these, in this order half the time. And I don't know. I watched this video a couple times when it came out the other day. And I was like, this makes absolutely no sense.
Right. I totally agree with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just gonna change how this tab shows up so that I can see you as well in the chat. But so yeah,
It's
this
more. It makes more sense than maybe Nico's because I don't know that he was just saying nonsense in my opinion. This was
yeah.
a little more informed because he is in the industry, but I don't know. Still didn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it turned out I like someone mentioned that Nico's in the industry too. He I mean Pride and Pinion I think sells watches.
Okay.
I
I don't
At least
know
that's what I
anything
heard.
about him, admittedly.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't mind tier lists in the sense it's interesting to see where that individual puts watches
Yeah.
in their mind, right? So this is kind of where how it's like a snapshot into John P's mind, and it's very
He's a
interesting.
reseller, so it's probably informed in that what sells at massive discount and what kind of holds its value from Del Rey watch perspective. So in that
Yeah,
sense, it probably is informed. And Casio being up there, I agree, is I think is great value
yeah.
in in most cases.
Yeah, and I think there's a mishmash here. Like you can see the clash in his salesman position, or like sales position, and in the watch enthusiast position. So he has what was it Alangenzona up way up at A, and I think that's a watch enthusiast decision to put it in tier A.
Yeah.
um, and things like Grand Seiko obviously is a watch enthusiast position,
Yep.
but then Jacob and Co being at E, that's kind of harsh. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Jacob and Co, but they have incredible engineering.
Somewhere producer Michael is
Yeah. And a lot of people take this so personally,
yeah.
like Nico's video. A lot of people take that personally, and I don't think people should.
No.
It's just a snapshot into one person's mind, and that person could be completely wrong.
Yep.
And there's no right answer in this, right? So it's interesting. I was gonna ask, where would you put like a couple of key ones? What would you move in this one?
So, okay, I've owned two Grand Seiko, two Rolex, two Omega. From like a quality standpoint, this is spot on. I think the Grand Seiko and the Rolex are just a hair above quality with the watches I've had. So I had two Omega divers, two SMPs, two different generations. From a just finishing and refinement, the Grand Seiko and Rolex are better. And I think you can still get Omega, and his rationale for putting them at C was that you can still find them at heavy discounts.
Hmm.
I think that's kind of why he put them at C. Um, so I don't know. What would I move? I would probably, I don't know. Yeah, Jacob and Co. like as tacky. There's some really interesting watchmaking going on there. So I think putting them way down there is, I don't know. I'm not attracted to the watches at all, but I don't think you can deny some of the engineering and watchmaking talent that goes into those pieces.
Yeah, like
Uh,
that
these-
Bugatti. Man, I can't believe what they did to
yeah,
to get that off the ground. Yeah.
Astronomia or whatever what it's called, even that is it's impressive. I mean, I would I don't have the money to buy it, but I probably wouldn't buy it if I did anyway. But
Yeah.
still, it's impressive. And
Yeah.
putting them way down the list is, I don't know. He just has an agenda, I think, with them and doesn't care for them, so that's why they're down there. Again, it's his list, so he can do what he wants. How about you?
Yeah.
What would you move?
Well, I would move Hublot, Richard Mille,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised there's no Invicta.
And there's
There's
no Seiko. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Where is
yeah,
Seiko on this list?
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so Hublot, Richard Mille, and Invicta, I'd move them to F.
Yep.
Because again, not to trample or step on anyone else's watch brands. I don't intend that. I just really can't stand the way those look.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, my gut tells me
I would move
Rolex.
Breitling up to C, I think also. I would
Yeah,
move Breitling up to C. And IWC.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I my my heart wants to, not my heart, my mind wants to put Rolex over Grand Seiko. So, um, my intellect says Rolex. I mean, yeah, Rolex is better.
Yeah.
But my heart would put Grand Seiko above
But
Rolex.
better how? Because they hold their value
No,
or
no, just um, well, yeah, I guess there are different. Yeah, that's a good question, because I don't really care about value, so none of that would come into play here. Or value retention, I should say. I don't care too much about that. Um, so Rolex's movements are known to be bulletproof, and their cases, their bracelets are supposed to be bulletproof and really good quality too.
yeah.
So yeah, that would make me want to put them above. But then Grand Seiko has like that romance. The cases are hand finished, the movements
Yeah.
are assembled by a watchmaker. Rolex says they do that. I think Tommaso was scoffing at that a couple of times, so it made me go, "Huh? I wonder if all that's automated
I have
on
seen that
Rolex."
before too, where people question that romanticism of it all being hand done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that, it takes a year to make a Rolex watch, I think, some people say that, and,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I
It's
don't.
it's so subjective. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I've owned two Grand Seiko. They are impressive. I mean, they're just they look so good, and both Rolexes I've owned look impressive as well. But they're not quite as eye-catching. Someone who did not know about watches, if they looked at that Soko Shadow versus a sub, I
yeah,
mean, in some ways you could say, wow, the Grand Seiko looks more impressive.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, yeah, so I think I'd leave Grand Seiko at B, and I guess if I would go with my heart, and I put Rolex at C. Um, and, just a couple of standouts. I bring Omega up to Grand Seiko. I'd leave, Alang Anzona, FP Journe, Patek, up at the top. I'd bring AP down a notch. Yeah, just a
yeah.
couple of moves like that.
I'm sorry, would you put VC at A?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
You would go up to A.
Yeah.
Zenit would go up to B. Yeah, just a couple of moves like that. Longines would
Casio
go
would
up.
go up to A in my book. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it was
But
a
Seiko not being on this list was quite
s
surprising. I
strange,
I
yeah.
don't know why they weren't on here.
Yeah. It could have been just a blind spot.
Yeah.
We have those, so, um, yeah, Peter made an interesting comment. He says, he can't watch John P. He doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I I I have this impression of him too. Um, Not that he doesn't make sense, but he repeats himself so many times that, I start rolling my eyes after the 3rd time he said the same thing.
He is really influenced by what celebrities are doing, I think, and like what other I don't know that he has a lot of his own opinions.
I see,
I
okay.
get that impression. I could be totally wrong. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just my impression of him a lot.
yeah,
I wonder what the dynamic between him and Fed is. It seems to be good, but it's interesting.
yeah. Nefarian hit the nail on the head here. I really don't like videos like this, completely subjective. Yeah,
Yep.
and it means nothing.
Yep.
Like,
Means nothing.
what Nico's video, anyone's tier list video, it's just their personal opinion, and
Yep.
we should kinda, enjoy it just to learn a bit more about that guy, you know? That's probably the best way to enjoy something like that.
He is one I have unsubscribed and resubscribed to a few times. Same thing with like Time Teller and a few others. He'll make a video where I'm just like, all right, I got to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm starting to I've subscribed to him. I think I'm starting to, get over kinda like with Theo and Harris. It took me a while to get over that personality that Christian has, you know?
See, I don't subscribe to them because of that.
Right.
I watched the video coming up here, and I don't. I unsubscribed from them a while ago.
Yeah.
It's
I think I have this thing where I have to overcome someone's personality, and then I can really appreciate them.
yeah,
Same with, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. I
yeah,
remember at first time I watched him, a Dragon's Den, which is like Canadian Shark Tank. Um, I couldn't stand him, but then after a while, I was like, okay, this is this guy's, MO.
yeah.
I now I know, and then I really started to appreciate
I
him.
think he's probably a teddy bear, Kevin O'Leary. I,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
he
so.
probably really is. Yeah.
And yeah, so same with Christian, and I think that it's happening to me with John P now. I'm like, okay, so this is what he's like now. Now I can build on it.
I heard
Appreciate him.
Christian on 10 and 2. I don't know if you heard that interview.
I
I was
did.
completely turned off. I was like, this guy. I not my kind of guy, stealing a line from Frank Costanza. This guy is not my kind of guy. I don't know. I was really, I paused it and then I unsubscribed from them at that time after that. There's so
Oh
many
no.
videos to watch that it's one thing like that can like, all right, one less video for me to watch a week because
Yeah,
there's just, I try to keep up with what my friends are doing and, videos I'm interested in. And sometimes, you just have to have less in the subscribe list, and so
yeah.
one little minor thing like that, and they're gone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You're out of here.
Yep.
uh, Wilson mentions it's another cut and paste video. Peter also mentioned that. I think he does,
Yeah.
and he
He's
does do
chasing
that.
subscribers, John
Yeah,
P. Yeah.
yeah. Forbin Colossus. I always look forward to when I see his name pop up. I look forward to seeing what he says. But Omega's silliest advert reads: Omega is James Bond's choice, as though anyone believes James Bond is requesting an Omega from Q.
I notice he's also making videos like daily now and with very clickbaity. He used to only make them infrequently, I would say, maybe once a week, but now they're like daily and they all have these sort of
Really?
very clickbaity titles. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've subscribed to so many people that not even the subscribers reach like the list.
Yeah.
Um, that's, I still miss a lot of videos. Um, we need like a watch soup team.
Yeah. I know. Intern, Watch
Yeah.
Soup intern.
Uh, yeah. So let's blow through the chat here, guys. I've noticed I miss a lot of the chat because I rewatched last night's live stream and I was blown away by how much I missed. Um, I think I had missed Paul making fun of me on a number of occasions, and I wish I caught that. That would have been fun to laugh about. But
It's
just
got to be hard to be in your chair. I've never done this, but you have to kind of steer the ship and also read all the comments. I imagine it's easy to miss things.
yeah, yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah,
I just
Wilson.
feel bad for missing. Wilson says Grand Seiko in B tier. Where's Rentron?
He'll put them down to F.
No, so you can't put like for me personally, I can't put Grand Seiko right at top, right? Because where am I gonna aim at? And what am I nuts saying? Grand Seiko is as good as Longa? That would be ridiculous. So I can say that Grand Seiko's a peg lower or a couple of pegs lower than Olorgerie.
I think Grand Seiko it's still mostly bought by people that want Grand Seiko. I think they would love to be the brand that people choose instead of Rolex, but I don't know that they're there yet. I think
Yeah,
that's more like Omega and Tudor, and they also have more comparable models to Rolex watches, where Grand Seiko I think is still you want a Grand Seiko, you're going to get a Grand Seiko. Otherwise, you may not know what it is and not seek it out.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Wilson.
good question.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. That would be a long conversation. Wilson also noticing that John P blinks a lot. I didn't notice that.
I don't know that I've noticed that either.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it just looking out for the blinks.
Yeah. Sam says, never heard of John P. Not a huge fan of the list. To each their own. It's true. You're not gonna win when you make a video like this.
He's
There's
Federico's partner in at Delray Watch.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Wilson Christian knows watches and is fortunate. No need for buttons. Pretentious, far beyond my tolerance level. I'm guessing about Theo and Harris. Yeah, Christian.
Christian. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
was actually
fine.
dreading watching this video today because I don't like those guys, and I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're too perfect. I just want to mess up their collars or something. I don't know about that enough because I wanted to get a comb and comb Michael's hair because it looked like it was just popping out the sides.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you need a brush or something.
I feel like they're stealing a lot of their material from stand-up comics. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know. They're
Okay,
like they've watched too many like George Carlin skits or something, and I don't know. It's just I don't know. But I did
yeah,
enjoy this video today.
yeah, yeah. So once I got over, let's I guess roll into this video. Once I got over Theo, not Theo, Christian's personality, I start to really enjoy these videos, and I almost look forward to to watching these on a weekly basis. Um, they have like this really good chemistry together, and their banter is hilarious. Way off topic sometimes, like talking about the Goodwill Hunting thing, which just went for me. Um,
You've never seen it, right?
no, it's like what are they on about? Um, yeah, I couldn't even repeat what they said. Something about a false leg, or I don't even know.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So yeah, like some of the one-liners are so good. I think last week, not this week, Christian mentioned something about you want an opinion. Vanilla ice cream tastes like milk. I
They
was
do kind of rip
crying.
on each other, which is, it's fun. You could tell they're
Yeah,
like good buddies because you can only
yeah,
kind of do that stuff with someone you're really close with.
yeah. It's really good. Um, and yeah, like the Two Face reversal, Two Face like you. It was good. I really like the banter. So I mean, yeah, I think it's worth watching, guys. If you guys have been put off by Christian's personality in the past, I think he's toned it down a lot. Maybe it's me, but yeah. Let's get to their topic. Their topic was for ridiculous watch mistakes to avoid when buying your first luxury watch. Um, I think it applies to buying your third or fourth or fifth luxury watch too. They were pretty sound. I'll blow through them real quick right now. The first one was sometimes a watch sometimes a watch doesn't work on your wrist. Um, you know, might be too big for you, might be too small for you. Uh, the second one was there's not just one good country manufacturing watches. Like it's not just Switzerland. Germany makes great watches. Japan makes great watches. Um, then the third one was wanting a brand name versus wanting a watch. So they were talking about basically it's between you and the watch. People don't notice the watch on your wrist. The brand name really doesn't matter. This is where they took like massive tangents in
Yes,
the
they went way
conversation.
off.
It was hard to follow their main overarching point here, but they're basically saying, hey, no one's gonna notice your watch. If you appreciate a brand, then yeah, go for it. Get the cheapest Patek or whatever. But um, really, it should be about the watch and about you and the watch. If you don't like it, then what are you doing? Basically,
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. Um, Fourth one was not using your watch as a tool. That's a mistake. I think they went so far off tangent that the fourth point didn't even make sense in the context of how they were speaking about it.
But
But
something they said in that fourth point really like hit home with me. And
yeah,
I don't know if it was they meant to say it or not, but it was about like having memories and attachments to your watches.
right.
And I was thinking, how many watches do I actually in my collection do I actually have some sort of like sentimental connection to? And I think it's only really a couple out of like the 20 something watches I have. And I'd be interested to know what you think about that because we both kind of cycle through watches. So are
Yeah,
there any that like you bought that Black Bay 58, the rebuy, the blue, on a special weekend when you met Wolfgang and you were together with Torin. Like, is that enough to keep it in your collection? Yeah, and I was thinking about my watches. Like the Weiss is really special to me. There's a few. I'm not sure the sub is there. Like, there's nothing really outside of it being a Submariner that like really keeps it around or is special to me. But like the Weiss has that connection to me because how I bought it, and even the Black Bay 58. Great weekend with my wife, and we had a fun day, and we bought it, and I bought it. But yeah, do you have any watches that sort of have a connection to you like that you won't get rid of?
yeah. Well, I think that Black Bay 58 Blue might be one of those. That was a special day, but yeah, it'll be put to the test, I'm sure, in the
Yeah,
upcoming months or maybe year or so, because I'm sure a watch will come out that I really want to have, and I'm gonna be, looking at, okay, what can I dox,
and
basically
because you
looking at,
sell it doesn't mean that you don't value that day.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, yeah,
Um, but weirdly, I I there's a watch that I treasure, but I don't own it anymore. Does that make sense?
yeah, totally.
um, like the Speedmaster. It's a watch I really treasure. Um, and yeah, I don't own it anymore. It means more to me now after I sold it because Marcus bought it. Um, like that watch means like that much more to me now. And hey, if Colin buys that watch after, that'll be even cooler. And if it just goes around and then I'm able to reacquire it somehow, oh man, that'll be the best. Um, but cutting all that aside, it meant a lot for me to me because um for some reason that's the watch I always took with me when we went away, like my family and I. So one watch that I took always was the Grand Seiko SBGY 003, and the second watch always had happened to be a Speedmaster. So whether it was either the FOIS or a Speedy Racing automatic, or it was the 3861 Speedy Pro. So there was always, for some reason, for like 2 year span, whenever we went away, I always had a Speedy with me. So yeah, the Speedmaster is kind of reminiscent. It has that sentimental
Yeah.
value to it. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else. The SPGY 003 has been with me everywhere, so it's kind of almost like the foundation, you know. So
Yeah.
you don't really have any um, what would you call it? Like really thoughts that really emotions that really come out when you think about that watch. It's almost like a good pair of shoes, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just always there, you know. So yeah, I appreciate that watch more
He
than
talked about his Christian talked about his date just and how it like he doesn't wear it all that much, once a week. But he he doesn't wear it as much as he used to, but it always takes him back to college, and it's special and it'll be in his collection. And yeah, there's just certain watches that it's kind of like when you hear a song, I think I talked about before, certain music takes you back to a certain time. And yeah, I think a watch that you bought at a certain point in your life or a certain point in the hobby can always take you back and make you smile. And even if it's no longer in your connection, that doesn't mean you still don't in your collection, you still don't have that connection with it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Um, Justin EDC says Christian makes a video for a brand and then thinks he can criticize any other advertisement video a brand makes that didn't pay him to do it. I'm not familiar with that side of him, so it's interesting though.
I don't watch them enough to know.
Yeah, me neither. I do like Michael from Theo and Harris though. Says Riss Ross. Good to see you, Riss Ross. By the way, um, he has a channel called the Iron Snail. Oh, I didn't know that. Reviews hipster clothes. Pretty
Hmm.
talented guy. Hmm, cool. He mentioned that he wears really expensive jeans in this video. Um, I didn't know jeans could get that expensive, but I guess everything can get expensive. um, Forbin Colossus, did I hear that right? That Teddy Baldassar beat Mark of Long Island Watch to in getting the rights to sell Hamilton. I'm amazed somewhat because I assume Long Island Watches was way larger in sales. I think that was the point. Um, Mark did say something like that in one of the videos.
Yeah.
Um, he said, "Yeah, it was crazy that
A
he didn't."
YouTuber got
Yeah,
it and I didn't. I think something to that effect.
yeah, he didn't name him, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it was crazy because Mark was trying to get it before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and Teddy had all this traffic. I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
Well, since Teddy has a better hairdo.
Yeah, Mark's
Yeah.
Halloween picture was a little creepy. Did you see that on Instagram?
I thought that was a Photoshop. I didn't.
I think that was his Halloween costume. That was a quite the creepy pic.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I thought someone was just making fun of him or something. I couldn't
No.
believe it. um, Furbin Colossus said, I had no idea Teddy even had a business selling new watches. Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has his own separate channel, Teddy Baldassar Reviews.
Yeah.
It's cool that he created two separate channels. He still promotes the watches. A lot of the watches he sell end up in his main videos, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Teddy has all the Swatch brands
Yeah.
and all the LVMH because I know he has Zenith. Um,
I think he even has like Zelos now. I think on his reviews channel he did a Zelos watch the other day.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ristros says pretty sure Fed was talking about Teddy in his last video and he referenced YouTuber drop shipping luxury watches.
Hmm.
I'll have to watch that video. It's in my watch later. I haven't checked it out yet. Um, Saturday night watch SNWF. I'm not sure what that means. Speedy new iconic watch. Yeah. Uh, all right. Um, maybe we will move on to the next video. Uh, sorry guys. Do you want to tackle the next one?
Oh
24
yeah,
hours of time.
sure. So this
Cool.
again is more of a audience participation with you guys than more than talking about the video. Oleg 24 hours at a time with his dog Bond makes a lot of grunting noises.
Yeah.
Uh, he asked, I think on Instagram, for us to give the bad watch advice we've either given or gotten. And one he gave was at the start of the pandemic to wait for the watch market to cool down before you buy. And he said that was really, proven wrong. It still has not cooled down,
Yeah.
and we're how long into this thing? And then just viewers of his channel gave bad watch advice. Buy watches as investments, which a lot of times, and I think we all kind of do it. Sometimes I've bought like Seiko limited editions, like, oh, this is a good buy, and then I'll end up selling it for a loss
Yeah.
because we're not patient when it comes to hanging on to watches. So I I've never really bought a watch to, make a profit. It's just how much if I can lose less. I think buying smarter to lose less, less of a
Yeah.
flipper's tax, as we call it. Then use watch winders. That's obviously you ask 10 watch enthusiasts about watch winders. I think you'll get 10 different answers, whether they're good for the watches or not. Is it smart to mod, buy a $50 Casio and Duro, for instance, and put a $75 sapphire crystal on it, which is more than the watch. What were some of the other ones here? Buy a Grand Seiko. That was bad advice somebody got. I liked how they snuck that in.
Yeah.
And one of the things I followed early, which I'd seen on many Facebook pages, was you have to have certain types of watches in your collection for it to be a proper collection. You need a diver, you need a dress watch, you need a chronograph, and I guess that helped inform me that I don't.
Yeah.
But I guess I wish I wouldn't have bought so many of those to figure that out. So I think that's a lot of new collectors. I think get that advice a lot from maybe forums and Facebook groups. You don't need that. Buy what you like.
Hmm.
Pete may not. I guess Pete doesn't like us saying that from his video this week. He doesn't want us to tell people to buy what we like. But yeah, I think that was one of the bad advice that I followed early was just, I need a dress watch in my collection, even though maybe I don't want one, or I need a chronograph. I need to, fit these different criterias of watches to have a proper collection. And that's not true.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's really good. Like that's really good bad advice.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Some people do like checking off the boxes
yeah,
and then then do it. If you have like this spreadsheet and you're goal oriented in that sense, you want one of each, then that makes sense. And it's a good way to limit yourself. But I feel like that's really bad advice for a majority of people. You
yeah,
know, you may just for me personally, it took me a while to get over that um that programming basically. that I have to have variety, that I have to have all these different things: a pilot's watch, a dive watch, a
Yep.
dress watch. When I only really enjoyed the dress watches, I enjoyed the others, just not as much as the dress watches. So finally, I overcame that, and now you buy what you like. I
Yep.
still have to watch that video from Pete. So
Yeah.
it's in my watch later. I've been kind of slacking on YouTube.
I almost talked about that actually, but I figured I'd diversify a little bit because yeah, it is pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't say buy what you like, but I'm super
I
intrigued
won't
by what.
spoil it for you.
Yeah, I'm super intrigued by what Pete's gonna say. Because he's he's I love the way he sees things. A completely
I'm
different
not sure I
angle.
completely agree with everything he said in that
Yeah,
video, but yeah, yeah, it's good.
yeah, I bet. Um, so other bad advice.
Have you
Um,
given any bad advice to anyone that you felt bad about
oh,
afterwards that maybe they followed?
I don't know. Uh, maybe I don't feel bad about it, and I don't think it's that bad of an advice. I say quite often that Grand Seikos don't feel as thick as the measurement suggests. So, like the SBGM 221, it's close to 14 millimeters thick, and I say, hey, it feels like 12 millimeters though. It's not that thick, and yet I am someone who's super sensitive to how thick a watch case is. So, I mean, I tried on the SPG M221 quite recently, and I didn't feel like it felt like it was 14 millimeters. So I still stand by that. But I'm, I kind of feel bad about saying that so often now, because some people might completely disagree with me and
Yep.
say this feels like 14 millimeters. It's crazy. It's huge. Um, because yeah, I need to try and dissociate from what it feels like on my wrist, right? Because I kept saying the Longines sector dial that we both have now.
Yep.
I keep saying it wears super big, and then Wolfgang says no, it doesn't. It wears tiny, like a 38.5 millimeters. And I was thinking, well, how's that possible? How can he think it wears small, but I think it wears really large? And I think there was like this critical point where once you exceed that wrist size, it starts wearing true to size. So it starts wearing like a 38. But
Yep.
if your wrist is smaller than that critical wrist size, it wears like a 40 or 41.
The lugs are
Um,
still they're shorter on that watch, but I noticed they still seem to somehow stretch out longer
yeah.
even on my wrist.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they come straight out, right?
Yep.
But say if
Yep.
you had an 18 centimeter wrist, then it doesn't matter how the lugs come out, they just stop at 47 because the
Yep.
measurement is 47, but if to me it feels like close to 50 on my small wrist. But to Wolfgang, it probably feels like 47. So anyway, that's a little aside. Bad.
I feel like I get asked questions and just from having a podcast, I don't know anything. Like people like reach out on Instagram sometimes, and I don't know if this happens with you, and they ask questions, and like sometimes I say I'm not qualified to answer this. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
anything.
right. Yeah, I hear you.
But
Uh,
yeah, like I feel bad. Like I guess sometimes, and I'm in a group with Tennessee Mike and some others, and sometimes I think we enable each other just to buy, and I feel like sometimes I feel a little guilty about that because I think we probably encourage people to buy things maybe they don't actually want, or they just I don't know. It's like the fear of missing out, and I know
yeah.
we all buy that way. I buy that way certainly. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel kind of guilty about it enabling and encouraging people just to buy everything.
Yeah. Yeah, guys in the chat, let us know if you got some really bad advice to throw our way. um I'm sure there's a few in here already.
How about he mentions water resistance in there, like recommending maybe somebody. the Speedy has 50 meters. You're fine to go swimming with it. Like making those kind of recommendations. Like maybe it worked for maybe you swam in your Speedy and it was fine, but maybe somebody else would and it wouldn't be fine. Like those kind of recommendations. Or watchwinders. I mean, watchwinders can. I've had two watchmakers tell me to stay away from them.
Yeah.
So, but other people will say, they keep all their watches and they recommend them to everybody. So
Hmm. I feel like that's not bad or good advice.
it's just
Things like it's
your
just
experience.
yeah,
Take it with a grain of salt.
right.
Yeah.
Anecdotal, completely
Yeah.
subjective.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah, that didn't seem like bad advice or good. Um, Watchwinder, I think I'd take a watchmaker's word for it though.
Yeah.
um,
I've had my own watchmaker and then Mimo actually from Mimo's Jewelry. Well, he's a retailer, but he knows what he's talking about with watches. And he told me stay away from them.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Justin said somebody told me I need an overseas dual time, and I totally agree. That sounds like bad advice, unless if you really like the dual time. Bruno says I don't own any dress watches, maybe because I don't own any dresses. That's funny. Hey, EP, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Um, let's see. Come on. Oh, Easy Clayton says worst advice given will fit wrist down to 13 centimeters
Yes.
from Tim Masso. Yeah, I'm not sure why Tim Masso comes up with those or how he does. Um,
That is also such a subjective thing because some people may not care about. For me, it's all about lug to lug. I personally don't like when the lugs hang over my wrist. I know I could wear it just fine. No one's gonna care, but it's just I don't like the way it looks.
yeah,
I'm better about having like a bigger case, like a maybe even a 44, as long as like Seiko does it, like cushion cases. The Turtle's 45, but it works because the lug to lug is manageable. But
yeah,
like the Hamilton Murph that I had, for instance, the 52, and it hung over, and I just hated it.
yeah, yeah. And some people might not mind that. I
Yeah,
know a few in our group, they don't mind seeing overhanging lugs. Um, and if you don't mind it, then hey,
yeah,
that's great. But yeah, I don't like seeing lugs even appearing to hang over. And the Longines sometimes does the sector dial. It
yeah,
looks like it's hanging over, even though it's not. Um, visual. What do you call that? Trick of the eye or something. Yeah, anyway,
yeah.
Sam agrees that the SPGM 221 doesn't wear as thick as the dimensions suggests. Joey says, I think a lot of people who complain about Grand Seiko thicknesses are looking at the stat sheet and haven't put it on the wrist. Yeah. Hey, Marat, good to see you. Thank you very much. He says, congrats on your new watches. Enjoy them. That's the most important thing. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Uh, Andrew Chin Watch Collector says, I just do the opposite of what Archie advises. Working great so far. So that's good advice or bad advice? Um, let's see. um, Bad advice. Dan says, trade a white birch in Planet Ocean for an Okinawa on winter. What? No one told me to do that. I gave myself bad advice, I guess. Um Sam added, people don't understand what water resistance is. Total pressure is equal to static plus kinetic pressure. Watch water resistance ignores kinetic effects. So stated depth is a joke. Yeah. Um, I think Mark did a video on that. Watch and learn as well.
Yeah,
He went into the math and the kinetic or the added pressure when you're moving your hand is so negligible, if I'm not mistaken, that it doesn't matter. But water resistance, the ratings are a joke for sure. That's
yeah.
a whole other thing. But
I have a
The
watch strap that, as we've talked about, has a 100-meter rating. That's ridiculous.
yeah,
At 101, it disintegrates.
yes, it implodes.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
a shark,
Um,
a shark eats you.
yeah, it'll be like one of those games from the 90s. If you pass the certain barrier,
Yes.
you um Nefarian, yes, yes, the white birch is gone. Uh catch up on last night's stream. It was actually a really fun stream. But yeah, we're actually cutting short on time. Let's talk about Peter's
Oh
video.
yes.
Uh Peter Kotsa made a really great video, and I thought this applied really well to the podcast you just put out, Clayton.
Mm,
We're talking about how selling sucks with
selling
random luck.
sucks. Yeah.
um, but yeah, he was basically giving some advice on how to lose as little money as possible when you're in this hobby. At some points, I think he had 3 points. One of the points is completely out of our control, but the points were purchasing price is key, meaning that you can purchase at a great discount or gray market or pre-owned to get a really good deal on a watch. That way, when you have to turn around and sell it for something else, you don't have to lose a whole bunch of money from retail price. So buying price is really important. At what price you buy a watch. Um, second point is the point that's completely out of our control. It's purchase a coveted model um, before it becomes desirable. So
Yeah.
if you have that time machine,
Crystal
yeah,
ball.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, he was talking about luck of the draw. If you happen to purchase something that was not that popular back then, it becomes popular now. You might have all this extra cash if you do sell it to put it towards something else. It would be one way of not taking a hit on selling. And the one third one was purchasing an unpopular watch. Basically, I think again, he means that the watch is going to come with a great deal. So again, back to buying price. The point he was making is that chances are you're going to lose money if you're in this hobby, and it shouldn't matter. You're enjoying this watch for however long that you choose to own it, and then you get to sell it and be happy with what it sells at, and then just put it towards the next watch, and go on your merry way.
One of our friends calls it like the rental fee. Um,
Yes.
it's kind of like that. Just look at it that way. It's a one way to rationalize losing ridiculous amounts of money on watches.
Yeah.
Whatever makes us sleep at night.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing he didn't touch on was how sucky it is to sell a watch.
Yeah,
Um, and you know, I feel like I really wouldn't be as big a great of a flipper, as big of a flipper as I am right now, if I didn't have the ability to trade back into my AD, because I really just don't have the time to go through all the shenanigans that come with selling
yeah.
a watch nowadays. Um, meeting if you're meeting someone on a Facebook group, if you're meeting face to face, or Kijiji in Canada, which is like Craigslist but a bit more polished. Um, you're meeting face to face. You have to drive somewhere, meet someone halfway, and it takes your time, which is well, I have 3 kids, and right now time is really valuable. Like, time is really scarce.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're older and they've gone on their separate paths, I would be able to put the time into selling a watch. But right now it's super scarce, and selling it really sucks.
Yeah.
If I want to sell something, I just like recently I sold a games console, and it really sucked. Excuse me. um so yeah. What did you have any thoughts about this video, Clayton?
Yeah, I largely agree. I know several of us in the chat tonight are lucky enough to be in Random Rob's Discord in the Flippers Paradise. But now I've sort of, and you've inspired me to do this a little bit. I have a relationship with Topper where I've traded the Grand Seiko for the SLA 043, and I think I'm going to go that route. You've sort of inspired me to do that.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little bit easier, and then because I'm at a point now where I really don't want to spend any extra money on watches. I don't want to put any more like savings money into them. So it has to come out of the collection now. I have to be a good boy.
Yeah.
So it's it's going to be that, and I have a great connection there at Topper. But yeah, I mean Flipper's Paradise. You can trust everybody in there. You don't mind offering at a maybe you're going to lose a little bit more, but it's going to be a hassle-free sale. You offer at the low, like a lot of the things Random Rob said in the podcast he did with me were, great advice. Just kind of already offer sort of the rock bottom price, so there's not haggling.
Right.
You've kind of already taken that out of the equation. They know it's a good price. You know it's a good price. Let's just do it instead of, what's your best price? You know, this is so take it
Yeah.
or leave it. Um, but yeah, I don't, the act of like packaging and going to the post office is out of my way. It's
Mm,
just, I really have to rush home and like get there. I don't want to take the watch with me all day because it would be in my van all day. And like, I just don't want that. So
right.
I have to come home, get the watch, and then go to the post office and do all that. But it's you're really just getting there right before it closes. It's a pain. It does suck. He said it. I mean, you can't say it more succinctly than that. Selling sucks.
Yeah.
Should have named the episode that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great episode. And yeah.
There's
I
Random
think
Rob now.
yeah. And yeah, the video I think was a good precursor to that episode even. So if you guys did watch this video, I think you should go check out the podcast that Clayton's on, the Watchdog podcast. But yeah, I think this was a solid video. I I can't relate to a lot of it. Only in the early stages when I was newbie selling. Even then, even then, I only sold face to face. I just there's something about me and online. For buying stuff, I'm still really old school, I guess. And because I live next to Toronto, there's just so many people who you can just chat with and interact with that I never
Yeah.
had to resort to selling online yet. But
I have sold a lot of watches through mostly now through the Discord, but also Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, mostly just Facebook, I think, and eBay a few. I talked about that in the podcast. I'm just not going to do that again. I just didn't like. Yeah, Tennessee Mike. Yeah, he's the luckiest person I know. Yeah,
yeah,
he should have been to Vegas. He should have gone to on the Vegas trip, and they could all like rub his head for good luck or something.
yeah, I've heard stories, Mike. um, Nefarian was chatting a bit about the stream last night. We won't spoil it for you because
Yeah,
that was fun. um, yeah, Bill Cases. I played you guys like a pro.
yeah, that was good.
And yeah, Chaz agreeing selling is such a hassle. Sam as well. Selling is totally a hassle. Hey, Rob's here. How's it going, Rob? Thanks for joining us. Glad you enjoyed Vegas. I know Dib was there, I think. I heard he enjoyed it.
Do you feel guilty having a lot of money? And is this what I don't know? Is this why you sometimes trade because you feel guilty having like too much invested in the collection at one time? So instead of like keeping the white birch and buying the Zenith, you feel like it's maybe a little more responsible to trade the white birch for the Zenith and the PO for the
Oh,
Conquest.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought maybe you thought you were saying if I had to cut down the collection, um, because I feel like there's too much invested. That comes into play too. I feel like, sometimes I feel like I have far too much. Um, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it would be well. Firstly, I couldn't afford to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next, it would be quite irresponsible of me to do that. So, I mean, I'd love to keep the white birch and have the zenith, but
Sometimes I like wish I had kids or like because my wife and I are we're fortunate that we do have we do pretty well. We don't have any dependents, so it allows us to maybe be we're both that way about me about watches and her about other things. So sometimes maybe I wish we did have kids that kept us in check a little bit with our spending.
yeah. No, it's neither here nor there. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if it'd be like anchoring yourself, kind of, right?
I don't
I
think
guess.
that's necessarily a bad thing always.
Yeah.
May need that sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, guys, we ran it a little over this time. Amin, hey, good to see you. No worries, Amin. Um, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I really enjoyed chatting with you all. Um, Rob, Rob, yeah, I sold. Well, I traded the white birch, and if you have some time and you look at my review, I pretty much lambasted it.
Yes.
It was not really. I mean, I still really appreciate that watch, but a lot of what you said in your video applied to the white birch. Let's just say, but it doesn't apply to other GSs. Um, yeah, I hope you guys had enjoyed tonight. And do you have any episodes coming up soon, Clayton?
I had a little procedure, so talking's been tough the last few weeks. So I don't have anything recorded, but hoping to get back in the swing of things this week. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's been a little tricky to been on the soft food ice cream diet. So there are probably healthier options, but ice cream is what I went with. So
yeah. You gotta keep up the calories. So
exactly.
good. I don't think I don't know if I should post the unboxing video that I did with the Zenith. Um, I might. It seems like it would be duplicating because the stream from last night kind of talked all about it. But we'll see. That might come out later this week. But yeah, guys. Other than that, I hope you all have a great week. And we'll see you next week, Saturday night live stream. All right. Take
Great to
care,
be back.
everyone.
Thanks for having me. Thank you guys.
It was so much fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining,
All right.
Clayton.
Good night.
All
Thanks.
right.